Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss about performs operations on rational numbers. Of course, we have the objective. After watching the video, you will be able to perform operations on rational numbers. Now, what is rational numbers? A rational number is a number that can be in the form p over q, where p and q are integers, and q is not equal to 0. Alright guys, we knew already about integers and take, no? The denominator must not be equal to 0, because if that would be the case, the fraction will become undefined. Alright? Okay. Here are some examples of rational numbers. Okay, we have here the whole number 5 can be transformed into 5 over 1. Then 1.75 can be transformed into 7 over 4. Then 0.001 can be transformed into 1 over 1000. Then negative 0.1 can be transformed into negative 1 over 10. Then 0.111 and so on can be transformed into 1 over 9. Then square root of 2, this cannot be considered as a rational number. Alright? Now, how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers? Alright, let us deal first with addition of rational numbers. And to add rational numbers or fractions, there are certain steps to follow. Number 1, make sure the bottom numbers or the denominators are the same. Step 2, add the top numbers or the numerators. Put that answer over the denominator. Step 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Okay, if it is not needed, so do not proceed to step 3. Alright? Okay, let us first deal with similar fraction. Example number 1, add 1/4 plus 1/4. Alright? So, these two fractions are similar because the denominators are the same. In this case, we can add directly the numerator. Alright. So, 1/4 plus 1/4, that is 1 plus 1 over 4. Just copy the denominator. Then 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. Then copy the denominator, so 2 over 4. But take note guys, the fraction which is 2 over 4 can still be reduced to its lowest term using the GCF, which is 2. So we will divide 2 and 4 by 2. So after dividing, the result is 1 over 2. So this is now the sum after adding 1/4 and 1/4. Now, let me show you in picture form. Alright, so this is the picture form of 1/4. Okay, so we have here 4 slices of pizzas, then 1 slice remains, so 1 out of 4. Okay, so with this, then 2 over 4 after adding, so we have now 2 slices out of 4. So 2 over 4, that's equal to 1/2. Alright? Now let us deal with the similar fractions. Okay, example number 2, we will add 1/3 plus 1 over 6. So guys, these two fractions are not the same or not similar because the denominators are not the same. In this case, we cannot directly add the numerators. We are going to make the two fractions first similar. Alright? But how are we going to do that? Okay, let me show you first in picture form. So this is for the 1/3. Alright? So we have 3 slices of pizza. Then 1 remains, so 1 out of 3. And then 6 slices of pizza. Then 1 remains, so 1 out of 6. Then the unknown fraction. Alright? So let us make the two fractions first similar. Okay? by making the denominators equal. Okay, so 1/3, the denominator which is 3, we're going to multiply this by 2 to obtain 6. And then, we must also multiply the numerator which is 1 by the same number, which is 2. Then, after multiplying, 1 times 2, that is 2, then 3 times 2, that is 6. So, this fraction, which is 2 over 6, we will now use this instead of 1/3. Alright, so 2 over 6 plus 1 over 6. So we can now add the numerator. Okay, 2 plus 1, then copy the denominator. Then 2 plus 1, that is 3, then over 6. And guys, 3 over 6 can still be simplified to its lowest term using the GCF, which is 3. So we must divide the numerator and the denominator by 3. Okay, and that is equal to 1/2. So this is now the sum, 1/2 after adding 1/3 and 1/6. Alright? Example number 3. 3 plus 6 over 7. So this time we have the whole number. If you could still remember the examples of rational numbers that I have presented to you in the previous slide, the whole number can be transformed into fraction using the denominator, which is 1. Okay? So we will now make first this expression similar. Okay, 3 can be transformed into 3 over 1. Now, we will multiply the denominator 1 by 7 to obtain 7. And we must also multiply the numerator by the same number, which is 7. And then, 3 times 7, that is 21. Then 1 times 7, that is 7. So we will now make use of this fraction, 21 over 7, instead of 3. Okay, so 21 over 7 plus 6 over 7. So in this case, the two fractions are similar. So we can now add the numerators. Alright, so 21 plus 6, then over 7. Then 21 plus 6, that is 27, then over 7. Alright guys, this fraction is what we call improper fraction. So therefore, we can transform this one into mixed number. But how are we going to do that? Simply, we will just apply the long division. Okay, the denominator, that is the divisor, and then the numerator, that is the dividend. Then we will now divide 27 divided by 7, that is 3. Then we will multiply 3 times 7, that is 21. Then after that, we will subtract 27 minus 21, that is equal to 6. Alright, so from here, we will now write this one as a mixed number. Okay, so the quotient, which is 3, that is the whole number. The remainder, which is 6, that is the numerator. Then the divisor, which is 7, that is the denominator. So this is now the mixed number of 27 over 7. So this is now the sum after adding 3 and 6 over 7. Alright? Example number 4. 9 over 4 plus 3. Okay, we will do the same. We will make the fraction similar. Okay, so 3 can be transformed into 3 over 1. Then we will multiply 1 by 4 to obtain 4. Then multiply also the numerator by 4. So 3 times 4, that is 12. Then 1 times 4, that is 4. So we will now make use of this fraction 12 over 4 instead of 3. So 9 over 4 plus 12 over 4. So these two fractions now are similar. So we will now add the numerators. Alright, so 9 plus 4, then over 4. Or 9 plus 12 rather, that is 21 over 4. So the fraction is improper. So we will transform this one into mixed number. Simply do the same, applying the long division. Okay, that is 5 and 1/4. Okay, so this is now the sum after adding 9 over 4 plus 3. Alright? Okay, we're done with addition of rational numbers. We will now deal with subtraction of rational numbers. And to do that, there are 3 steps to follow. Okay, number 1, make sure the bottom numbers, the denominators, are the same. Then number 2, subtract the top numbers or the numerators, put the answer over the denominator. Then number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Alright? Okay, let us first deal with similar fractions. Okay, 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4. So again, the fractions are similar because the denominators are the same. So we can directly subtract the numerator. So alright, so 3 minus 1, then copy the denominator. Then 3 minus 1, that's equal to 2, then copy the denominator. And 2 over 4 can still be reduced to its lowest term using the GCF, which is 2. So we will divide the numerator and the denominator by 2, and that is equal to 1/2. So this is now the difference, 1/2, after subtracting 3/4 and 1/4. Alright? Okay, let us now deal with the similar fractions. Example number 2, 1/2 minus 1 over 6. So again, we cannot subtract right away if the fractions are dissimilar. So we will make the two fractions first similar. Alright? So we will multiply the denominator, which is 2, by 3 to obtain 6. And we must also multiply the numerator by the same number. Okay? So 1 times 3, that is 3. Then 2 times 3, that is 6. So we will now make use of this fraction, 3 over 6, instead of 1/2. Alright? So 3 over 6 minus 1 over 6. So the two fractions now are similar. So we will now subtract the numerators. Okay, 3 minus 1 over 6. Then 3 minus 1, that is 2. Then over 6. And 2 over 6 can still be reduced to its lowest term using the GCF, which is 2. Then we will divide both by 2. And the result is 1/3. So this is now the difference after subtracting 1/2 and 1/6. Alright? Then example number 3, 5 minus 1/4. Alright guys? So we will do the same, making the two fractions similar. So again, 5 as a whole number can be transformed into 5 over 1. Okay, and then we will multiply 1 by 4 to obtain 4. Then we must also multiply the numerator by the same number. Okay, so 5 times 4, that is 20. Then 1 times 4, that is 4. So we will now make use of this fraction, 20 over 4, instead of 5. So 20 over 4 minus 1/4. So the two fractions now are similar. So we will now subtract the numerators. So 20 minus 1 over 4, that is 19 over 4. So this fraction is improper. So we will transform this fraction into mixed number. And that is equal to 4 and 3/4. So this is now the difference after subtracting 5 and 1/4. Alright? Okay, example number 3, 3 and 1/2 minus 2 over 5. So this time we have mixed number. So we need to transform this mixed number first into improper in order for us not to confuse. Okay, and how are we going to do that? Alright, simply we will just multiply the denominator by the whole number, so 2 times 3, and then the product will be added by the numerator. Then we will just copy the denominator. Alright, and that is equal to 7 over 2. Okay, so we will now make use of this fraction, 7 over 2, instead of 3 and 1/2. Alright, so 7 over 2 minus 2 over 5. Then After this, we will make the two fractions similar. Alright? So in this case, guys, we cannot find any number to multiply uh, from 2 to obtain 5. So in this case, we will make use of the LCD, or the less common denominator. And the least common denominator is 10. Right? So this is what we call the LCD. So usually to obtain the LCD, we will just multiply the denominators. But take note, not all the times that is applicable. Okay, so in this case, we can think also of 20, 30, but take note, we must choose the less number. Alright, so 10 is our LCD in this case. So after knowing the LCD, we will divide the LCD by the denominator right here. So 10 divided by 2, that is 5, and the result will be multiplied by the numerator, which is 7. So 5 times 7, that is 35. Alright, then we will do the same in the second fraction. So 10 divided by 5, that is 2. Then 2 times 2, that is 4. Then we will just copy the operation, which is subtraction. So 35 minus 4, and that is equal to 31 over 10. Then 31 over 10 is improper fraction. This can be transformed into mixed number, and that is equal to 3 and 1 over 10. So this is now the difference after subtracting 7 over 2 minus 2 over 5. Alright? Okay, we're done with subtraction of rational numbers. So this time we will deal with multiplication of rational numbers, and to do that, there are 3 steps to follow. Number 1, multiply the top numbers or the numerators. Then number 2, multiply the bottom numbers or the denominators. Then number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Alright? Okay, example number 1. 1/2 times 2 over 5. Okay, we will do it step by step. Step number 1, multiply the numerator, that is 1 times 2, that is 2. Then step number 2, multiply the denominators, that is 2 times 2, that is 10. So meaning, after multiplying 1/2 and 2/5, the result is, or the product is 2 over 10. And 2 over 10 can still be reduced to its lowest term using the GCF, which is 2. So we will divide this fraction, both numerator and denominator, by 2. We will proceed to step number 3. So after dividing, the result is 1 over 5. So this is now the product after multiplying 1/2 and 2 over 5. Alright? Okay, now let us deal with division of rational numbers. And to do that, there are 3 steps to follow. Number 1, turn the second fraction, the one you want to divide by, upside down. This is now a reciprocal. Then number 2, multiply the first fraction by that reciprocal. Then step number 3, simplify the fraction if needed. Okay? Example number 1. 1/2 divided by 1 over 6. Okay guys, take note, once you're dealing with multiplication and division of fractions, it is not necessary that the fractions are similar. Okay? So we will now follow the steps. Step number 1. 1 over 6, the divisor, will become 6 over 1. So this is now what we call the reciprocal of 1 over 6. Alright? Then step number 2, we will proceed to multiplication. We will multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the divisor. That is 6 over 1. Okay? So let us apply the rule of multiplication. We will multiply the numerator. Then after that, we will multiply the denominators. So 1 times 6, that is 6. Then 2 times 1, that is 2. And 6 over 2 can still be simplified. So we will proceed to step number 3. And the simplified form of 6 over 2, that is equal to 3. So this is now the quotient after dividing 1/2 and 1 over 6. Alright? Example number 2, we have 2/3 divided by 5. Okay, if you could still remember, the whole number can be transformed into fractional form using the denominator, which is 1. So 5 therefore can be written as 5 over 1. Alright, so 2/3 divided by 5 over 1. Then, applying step number 2, we will proceed to the multiplication, and then, taking the reciprocal of the divisor, 5 over 1, the reciprocal is 1 over 5. Then, proceed to multiplication. We will multiply the numerator and the denominators. Okay, so 2 times 1, that is 2, then 3 times 5, that is 15. Then 2 over 15 can no longer be simplified to its lowest form, so we will no longer proceed to step number 3. So therefore, the quotient after dividing 2/3 and 5 is 2 over 15. Alright? Example number 3, 3 divided by 1 over 4. Okay guys, sorry for this. This is 4. And again, 3 can be transformed into 3 over 1. So, divided by 1 over 4. So again, this is not 14, this is 4. And then, this is equal to 3 over 1 times, proceed to multiplication. Then, take the reciprocal of 1/4, that is 4 over 1. Then, multiply the numerators and the denominators. So that is 3 times 4 and 1 times 1. The result is 12 over 1, or simply 12. Alright? Now, I have prepared an exercises for you. If you want to answer this, just take the screenshot and then post your answers in the comment section. Right guys? If you have some questions, do not hesitate to write your questions in the comment section, and I would really appreciate if you will going to do that. Okay, thank you for watching guys, and if you like this video and you have learned something, please do not forget to subscribe, like, and hit that bell button for you to be able to notify in my latest video. Alright, so once again, this is Sir Ponting saying practice makes perfect. Bye bye.